StayAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. What is that? That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is the power of process. Before we get into what this is about and where it's going, let me remind everybody that I send out a daily motivation text message free of charge every single day that is guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start the day. You already know you want to receive this, so let me just tell you what you got to do to get it. You just text me at my number, which is 305-384-6894. And every morning when that daily motivation text comes out, you shall be receiving that message straight to your phone, free of charge, every day. All you got to do is open up the text messages on your phone, which you already know how to do. Text me at my number right now and let me know you want to be getting that message. Here's the number, 305-384-6894. So you just text me right there. Tomorrow morning when daily motivation comes out, you will be receiving that message along with everybody else, the other thousands of people who are in my text messaging community. Secondly, people ask me, Dre, do you do anything like courses? Do you have any kind of programs or trainings? Is there a way that you offer? Do you offer any kind of coaching or anything like that? The answer is yes, I do offer all of those things. I do it all in one neat, tidy place where you can get access to everything. That is called Work on Your Game University. That is where you can get access to my best stuff when it comes to mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability. That all happens at workonyourgameuniversity.com. If you would like to be coached by me, that happens at workonyourgameuniversity.com. If you want to get access to all of my material, have lifetime access to it to take at your own pace, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. That link is down below in the description, along with the number to text me to get my daily motivation message when I send it out every day. So let's get into the subject, the power of process. So I'll tell you a quick story that I had once recorded in an episode of this show, actually a couple episodes of this show I recorded, because I usually record multiple episodes at a time. But I made a mistake and forgot to export the finished videos when I was done recording. So I recorded the videos, recorded the audio, recorded the videos, but I forgot to export the videos. And then I had deleted the videos off of my device. So I'm like, man, and normally in that situation, what happens? You lost your footage. Now either you got to record it again or you just go without the footage. Good thing is my process saved me in this process. I did not lose the footage and I did not have to re-record. So it got me thinking about this power of process and why it is so valuable for all of us to have a process, whether we have forgotten something and the process remembers for us, or just to make sure that we are doing things that we're supposed to do in the first place. So sometimes you just got to remind yourself to do stuff or be reminded to do stuff before a mistake happens. And sometimes a mistake happens, and if you have the right process, the process is designed to catch and patch up those mistakes if and when they happen. A good process does, at least. So let's talk about it, how this works and what it all means. Point number one, topic once again is the power of process. Number one, catch and prevent mistakes. This is one of the biggest things that a process does. It catches mistakes and it prevents mistakes from happening. Right now I'm in the process, speaking of the word, I'm in the process of hiring a new staff member. When I hire a new staff member, I go through a process that I use in terms of, we go through a process of kind of questions that we ask. We go through a process with the job posting, like what exactly is in the job posting, how we want people to respond when they respond to the job posting, the kind of questions that we ask if we're messaging with them, kind of questions that get asked when I get into a one-on-one call with them, just to find out how their personality is and where they're at and how they answer certain questions. There's a whole process to all of this stuff. None of it is done just winging it. None of it is being winged. Even though I probably could wing it pretty well these days, we still operate by process. This is the great thing that a process does in catching and preventing mistakes, because anytime you have a solid process or a system, the process or the system should be working harder than the humans. I'll tell you that probably about 2 years ago, it's probably maybe close to 3 years ago now, I hired an assistant. I had an assistant. That assistant left for a better paying job. I hired a new assistant, but I didn't really follow my process when I hired the new assistant, because I think I was kind of consciously or unconsciously just in a rush to replace the old assistant with a new assistant. So I picked the person who seemed to be pretty cool, had nice personality, all of that stuff. But this person was not solid in the work that I wanted them to do. They were just not solid. They were very not thorough, not on point, not focused at all. And it was just a bad thing all around. And the reason that this happened, because I ended up having to fire this person less than a month after they started the job. I fired them because they just simply were not performing on the job. But the reason I'm bringing that up is not to knock that person, because what did we just talk about in yesterday's episode? Everything that occurs around you or to you or for you is a result of you. It is because of you. It is not happening to you. It's happening because of you. So it was something that I did, that I had skirted the process. I had skipped steps in the process of hiring this new person. And it's exactly why I ended up picking the wrong individual. So it's 100% on me because I didn't follow the process the right way. Because again, we have a process for how people get hired. We have a process for how we bring people in. We have a process for how all these things work. When the process wasn't followed, we got results that we didn't want. And I had to go undo the bad work that I had already done. So the process should always work harder than the humans. All right. The work that humans do in any operation should be based on what the process and or the system is telling those humans to do. Did everybody catch that? Anytime there's a process in place, the humans should just be doing what the process tells them to do. All right, they don't really have to think that hard about what to do. Now, you may have to think about other things, but you don't have to think that hard about what to do when you have a process. The process is telling you, or you did that part, now do this. You did parts 1 through 4, now do part 5. So think of a place like McDonald's, for example. Anyone can go work at McDonald's right now, and by the end of one work shift, you'll be looking like a seasoned employee. Someone from the outside looking in observes you. Why would you look like a seasoned employee after one day at work? Because at McDonald's, the system is so tight that it tells the human being exactly what to do. All the human has to do is whatever the system tells them to do. So if you're a human working at a place like McDonald's, and there are others that fit this description, you need not bring any personal knowledge or personal intelligence to the situation. You work at McDonald's, they don't want your personal knowledge or your personal intelligence. Right? You could even be a general manager of a McDonald's. They don't want your knowledge or intelligence. You could even run a franchise of McDonald's. They don't want your knowledge or intelligence. They already got the system laid out, and you buy a McDonald's franchise, the system is so tight, exactly what you got to do and how you got to do it. You ain't got that much leeway anyway to use your knowledge or intelligence, no matter how much of it that you have. Why? Because McDonald's knows what works, and you should agree that they know what works based on their resume and their status. All you got to do is follow what they say, and you know your situation is going to make them some money. So what will happen is you can go out there looking like a seasoned worker simply because the one skill that you need to bring to the table is the ability to understand the native language and follow simple instructions. You want to work at McDonald's, all you got to be able to do. Can you do those two things? Can you understand the native language here? Number one. Number two, can you follow instructions? If you can do both of those, you can get a job at McDonald's. So any of you who doesn't have a job right now and you're trying to make some money, I would suggest you go get a job at McDonald's because they will hire you as long as you can do those two things. Now, if you can't do those two things, don't go work at McDonald's because it won't go well and they might end up firing you pretty quickly. All right, this is what a good system does. As long as you can follow the instructions that a system gives you, you will produce the desired result. Everybody got that? Any questions? Any of you who's building a business, for example, this is the aim that you want to have for yourself and your business, that you have processes in place for everything that gets done over and over again to a point that someone who was not around when the process was made can look at it, follow it, and produce a similar result to what you've done. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is the power of process. Number 2, you will be less dependent on fallible, mistake-prone, and replaceable human beings. This is one of the benefits of having a process, is that you are less dependent on human beings. Human beings can think incorrectly. Human beings can make mistakes, and human beings can also be replaced. A process, none of those things happen, as long as the process has proven to produce results. The mistake that I made was in forgetting to export some videos. This is what I was talking about earlier. I was forgetting to export some videos that I had recorded, But because I had a process, part of my process included backing up the videos that I had recorded. So even though I had not exported the videos, in other words, I had not rendered a finished video, I still had the footage that I had recorded, which is the key, because the amount of time it would take me to re-record was a lot more than the time it would take me to just download what I had already backed up, the backup recordings of what I already had. So even though I had not exported the videos, I still had the footage. This applies to all of us. All right, we humans are mere mortals, all of us. And that means we sometimes forget things, whereas the computer doesn't really forget. Humans forget, though. We make mistakes. We have bad days. We have brain lapses. Sometimes we lose focus or get caught not paying attention. This happens to all of us at different times. We are not as efficient and consistent or as dependable as computers and algorithms are. They are all more efficient and more consistent and more dependable than we are, because we are, again, mere mortals and we tend to make mistakes. Humans will make a mistake every now and then, every human, no matter how sharp you are. Computers never, ever make a mistake because they only do exactly what the humans have told them to do. Computers never slip up. They never make mistakes. Even the most disappointed and even the most disciplined, rather, and focused human being on the planet sometimes slips up and makes a mistake. I have as everybody. When you have a process and you follow that process, the process is always telling you exactly what needs to happen next. You should never depend on a human being's brain to do that, including your own. Never depend on a human being's brain to know what needs to happen next. You should not depend on your own brain to know what happens next. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is the power of process. When you have a process, you will produce consistent and predictable results. This is the main thing that anyone in the, let's say, the thought leaderships, the sales space, the academic space, this is the main thing they're all looking for. Consistent and predictable results. The value of a system, and the main reason why you hear so many Black people talk about systems is because, not Black people, just people, Black people, white people, every color people. You hear so many people talk about systems is because systems lead to the production of consistent outputs. That's what a system does. That's the desire of a system. You put a system together, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for some kind of consistent output, or outputs, plural. Consistent outputs matter so much because anything that is consistent becomes relied upon. Anything that is relied upon has a higher value than something that is not, simply because we know exactly what we're going to get. Everybody understand this? Shall I say it again? Consistent outputs matter because anything that's consistent becomes relied upon. Anything that's relied upon has a higher value than something that's not, because we know what we're going to get. We value things that we can predict more than we value surprises. The only surprises that we like are the ones that we already know what the surprise is. The ones where you don't know what the surprise is, you don't value that one that much. Human beings will invest a lot into something when we know exactly what's going to happen, as long as it's something that we actually desire. So if you want to have, for example, high prices, you want to sell something at a very high price, whatever high is for you, and you want to get those prices on a consistent basis, you should aim for a consistency of output. You got to aim for some other things too, but that's one thing. That's one place you can start, is consistency of output. In other words, you need a system that produces a certain output over and over and over again without fail, with very little variation over time. Understand that this can apply in business and to your personal life as well. Anywhere where you want to get a consistent input coming back from whoever or whatever, then you got to have a consistent output going out to whoever or whatever. Again, this can apply personally as well as in business. Remember that human beings, all of us, are creatures of habit. Whether you're dealing with personal friends, you're dealing with business associates, everybody likes consistency. We like to know what's going to happen. We like things that we can predict. And again, we don't sign up for surprises. We like surprises after we know what the surprise was, as long as it's something that we want. But generally, we ain't paying for a surprise. Point number 4. Today's topic, once again, is the power of process. Number 4, less brain power invested in what to do. As a coach and person who works with people on personal and professional matters, one of the main things that people think that they need when they come to me is some kind of how to. All right. I got this and this and this, Dre. I just need to know how to do this part, and this part. This is what most people are looking for. How do I do this? How do I do that? I just need to know what to do in order to make this happen. One of the common challenges I hear from entrepreneurs these days is not knowing what to do or how to do it. Is what a common challenge, emphasis incorrect. One of the common challenges I hear from entrepreneurs is not knowing what to do or how to do it. The reason why you don't know what to do, entrepreneur, or how to do it right now in your career or in your business or at home is because you are depending on your own personal resources. Specifically, you're depending on your personal intelligence and your personal knowledge. And it's not that you don't have intelligence and that you don't have knowledge, but there is only so much intelligence and or knowledge that any one person has. We need to borrow other people's intelligence or knowledge in order to achieve our results more efficiently. Specifically, that means we get to them and we get to them fast. That's what efficiency is about. The slowest and least effective way to achieve anything is to depend only on one source. You and your brain are one source. You personally is just one source for achieving something. If you're only depending on you, it doesn't mean you cannot achieve something. It just means it's the slowest and least efficient way to achieve things. So if you combine your resources with other people's resources, you'll probably multiply your output and you'll cut down on the time it takes for you to get something done. You'll cut down on your timelines. Everybody follow me? A faster and much more efficient way to achieve anything is to tap into a system or a process that has been developed by someone who's already figured out what you're looking to do and already figured out exactly how to do it with respect to the goal that you're looking to reach. Now, again, you want to make sure you're tapping it with somebody who actually can help you do the thing that you want to do. They're not doing something else. They're doing the thing that you want. Remember, I was talking to someone once and they were saying, well, I have a coach, Dre. They were talking to me about possibly having me coach them. They said, well, Dre, I have a coach, but this coach, his focus is more on helping people write books and put their books out. But I don't need a book coach, even though I want to write a book. I need more than that. I need someone who's more like a business coach. So the whole point is this guy who this person had as a coach was a coach and he had a process, but his process was leading to an outcome that this individual did not want. So they needed a different person with a different process and they were looking for a different outcome. So just because someone has a process doesn't mean they're the right person for you. You need a person with a process that actually will help you get the thing that you want. So what is your goal? So any goal you're looking to reach, you got to find a person who already has figured it out, tap into what they have, and then follow what they tell you. That's it. This is what the smart people who are moving the fastest are doing every single day. This is not something they do every once in a while. This is what they're doing every day. The slow people, on the other hand, are trying to figure everything out on their own, and it's taking them longer simply because they're only relying on one source. So the question is, which one are you? All that said, let's recap today's class, which is the power of process. Again, I recorded an episode of this show once, and the video file, I forgot to export the finished video, deleted it, and then once I realized I had done it, first thought is I might have to re-record it, but because of my process, I had a process for backing up my footage. As soon as I finished recording it, I had the backup already saved, so I didn't have to re-record the material. And that got me thinking about process in general, how process can help us to move forward and also can save us if we make a mistake. As human beings, we are prone to mistakes. Number one, catch and prevent mistakes. That's what a process does. It's a great reason to have a process, because anytime you have a solid process or system, it should work harder than the human beings. Think of a place like McDonald's, anybody can work there simply because the process is more important than the individual person who's working there. This is the aim that you want to have for yourself and your business. Number two, you are less dependent on fallible, mistake-prone, and replaceable humans with respect to robots. Robots don't make mistakes. Robots are not fallible. Robots are, technically they're replaceable, but they don't have the same needs and they don't carry with them human error. Human beings, we make human errors. Sorry, that's why it's called human error. No such thing as computer error. There is, but the only time a computer makes an error is because a human programmed the computer incorrectly or gave the computer bad instructions. So the computer only did what the human said. So anytime you see a computer, quote unquote, messing up, it's because a human did something to make it mess up. Computers do not mess up by themselves. So We humans, as mere mortals, we sometimes forget, we make mistakes, we have bad days, we have brain lapses. Systems never have any of these problems, ever. Point number 3, consistent and predictable results. Value of a system, and the main reason why you hear people talking about it all the time is because systems lead to the production of consistent outputs, and we want consistency as consumers, as buyers. We want things that are consistent. That's what we are willing to pay for. Those are the things that we're looking for. Number 4, less brain power invested in what to do. Common things that I hear from people when they come to me for coaching is they need to know, how do I do this? How do I do that? I mean, those are the questions that we pretty much answer in Work on Your Game University. How do you become more disciplined? How can you be mentally tough? How can you build a business? How can you sell stuff? How can you get better at creating content? How can I make more money in my business? These are all things that we solve with the how to do or what to do. When you have a good process in place, the process answers the question such that you don't have to recreate the answer every single time you do something. You get what I'm saying? And this is what the smart people are doing to move forward the fastest, is that they are leveraging the processes of people who have already figured out these challenges. You do not need to figure everything out on your own. Actually, there's very few things you need to figure out on your own. All you got to do is tap into someone who already has figured it out. These people do exist. All you got to do is go find them. They should be easy to find. If they're really good at resolving certain challenges, they should be making themselves easy to find. All you got to do is tap into them, and boom, your problem will be pretty much resolved as long as you follow instructions. All that said, text me and tell me the best point you got from today's class. My number is 305-384-6894. And Work on Your Game University. That is where I do all my coaching. If you want to be coached by me directly, you like to get on a call with me on a consistent basis and be able to share your challenges, get walked through my best frameworks on mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability when it comes to your personal business, when it comes to your career business, and everything in between. There's one place to do it. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre, all